Hello, everybody. Welcome to What the Flick. It is season 7 of Mad Men. Yay. The beginning of the end. Season 7A, let's say. Episode 1, Time Zones. Alonzo Duralde joining me this week. Ryan Turek from ShockToYouDrop.com. Ben Mankiewicz will be joining us. He is sleeping off the TCM Film Festival. I'm sure it was a very exhausting weekend. But whoa, we're off to the races.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this is the adapt or die season.
Oh, big time. Yeah, no, I mean, you've got Don hopping coasts, you've got everybody just bouncing around, and you're trying to figure out exactly where everybody is in their life.
Absolutely, and the best description I heard Dave said this morning, he goes, it's like everybody's figuring out that what worked for them for the last 10 years isn't working anymore.
Yeah.
So Don doesn't just own every room that he walks into. Peggy isn't, connecting with her awful new boss.
Her new boss.
Joan doesn't have the marketing guys eating out of her hand, and Roger seems completely adrift.
Yeah, Roger's adrift, but Joan seems to have come out on top out of everybody in this group.
Oh, well, no question.
Yeah.
It's interesting when she has the meeting with the professor. On the one hand, he underestimates her, and she completely catches him on it. But at the same time, when he suggests that there be a trade involved, she immediately thinks the worst, and then finds out, oh no, he just wants information about statistics about advertising.
Yeah.
But definitely we're looking at a world where even 1969, women are still getting the shit end of the deal. You've got Peggy being condescended to, Joan being condescended to. I mean, she's a partner in the firm, and Ken Cosgrove just kind of pushes her around, but cannot throw an earring with no depth perception. Poor guy.
Yeah.
And even Megan, that whole dinner with the agent, he keeps calling her a girl.
Yeah, yeah, but that was actually, Don, talk about role reversals. Don is actually the arm candy there.
Oh, totally.
He is completely out of his element.
We first see Don shaving on the plane with a look of panic in his eyes that we've never seen before. He does the people mover at LAX just like The Graduate, and yes, Jackie Brown, but they're doing The Graduate here. And when he comes out of the airport, I'm a Man is playing, but the man is Megan.
Right.
She gets the slow-mo walk around the car.
The cool car.
She's the stud, and he is totally the arm candy. You're right.
And also, even when they are in her space, they are in her space. That is definitively her. The production design of her place is such a stark contrast to what his place looked like.
And when she's laying down the rules about don't do this, don't throw your cigarettes.
And when he goes in, obviously he probably just wants to celebrate, and she's not in the mood. She's the one calling the shots.
Right.
And then even the television. The television isn't sufficient enough, and when he brings in a larger television, she gets all bent out of shape.
But that's such a that's such a guy thing though, to not ask her and just show her. But again, it's that's a marking of territory, which is also Peggy's issue.
Yeah.
We from the get-go, she can't just take the pitch from Freddie, which is of course the pitch from Don, who's Freddie's his front basically. She has to tweak it, and then of course that kind of ruins it in a way. And then she spends the whole rest of the episode trying to maintain her place in the pecking order, and Lou is just not.
Yeah, I think we're going to get to see some really interesting friction going on between Peggy and Lou, if Lou even sticks around.
Yeah, or if Peggy sticks around at the agency. Who knows what's going to happen there. She seems at the moment, I think, stuck with a lot of bad decisions. She's stuck with the apartment building and having to deal with it by herself. She's stuck with the agency without Don and without Ted really anymore. So who were kind of her two main champions, and so she's just sort of thrown in with everybody else.
That whole thing with her and Ted was great too. The coffee
that awkward,
scene, awkward. Oh my God, just calling Stan. Peter seems to be the only one who seems to be he seems to have made the transition really well. He's looking tan. His hair looks great. He's got good clothes. He's a little hippie-ish.
I love this showing up in tennis togs. That's a hippie for Don Draper.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're not wearing a tie.
But he's got a great office. Even the office in LA is so much different than what's going on in New York. But Pete seems to have come out on top. Joan seems to be okay so far. Roger, I'm concerned about.
Yeah, Roger's
I'm really concerned about.
It was one thing to do acid a couple of times, but he seems to really just be.
He's embraced that bohemian whatever's going on, where he's sharing his bed with another man and another woman, and it's just oh man.
The haircut, however, remains the same. Let's don't get crazy, Interesting kind of themes going through this episode about youth and age and rejuvenation. Pete's apartment overlooks the tar pits,
yes,
which is where the dinosaurs went to die. When Don and Megan fall asleep watching TV, Lost Horizon is on, which is about Shangri-La, this magical place that's away from the world where people don't age. And we're seeing these people who really knew how to navigate the 60s now butting up against youth culture, and youth culture taking everything over. I mean, from the get-go, that whole Accutron pitch is about the two young guys in the room connecting, and the old guys being in black and white, but they're in color. They're connecting. It's Steve McQueen. That's why I was a little disappointed that we didn't get any Sally in this episode, because I want to see where she's going and all
Betty,
this.
see where Betty's at. But I mean, they didn't do their usual 2-hour opening, so I think we've got a little bit more, ahead. Maybe in the next episode we'll get some more Betty, get some more everybody. But also to speak to that, the Lou is significantly older than anybody else in that office too. So you've got that nice clash with him and Peggy going on as well, because Peggy represents. I mean, honestly, I love Peggy on the show.
The show is as much about her, I think, at times, than it is about Don.
It really breaks your heart for that final shot. Well, not the final shot, but the shot that comes before Don. The fact that her breaking down, and then we see Don breaking down with that. Like I said, earlier when we were talking off camera, the whole thing with Don's door not being able to work in that gorgeous apartment he has, and just letting the cold come in, it just says so much. Just something bad's happening, something cold is happening, something dark is going to happen.
If you have the time between this episode and the next one, they just put this movie with Burt Lancaster called The Swimmer out on Blu-ray, and the closing shot of this episode reminded me a great deal of the closing moments of that film. Check it out, take a look at it. It's a great movie about a sort of 60s guy on top of the world who it turns out is sort of, is giving one facade to the world that doesn't necessarily match what's really happening in his life, which is very much where Don is right now.
We should talk about Neve Campbell.
You should totally talk about Neve Campbell. Yes.
That just completely threw me for a loop, because this woman sits down. You've seen this scenario play out in Mad Men before. Beautiful woman sits down next to Don. Next thing you know, he's betting her. And here we have Neve Campbell looking gorgeous, acting her socks off. She's so great, and she has a really sad story to tell. One that Don can connect with if he's not paying attention to taking care of himself. And it was really interesting the way she exited, because she was like, well, I can give you a ride, and he's like, I've got work to do, and all of a sudden she just backs right out of the frame, and that's the last we see of her in this episode. And it was a really great moment in this episode.
I don't think this is the case because it's set up to literally, but it's almost as though he dreamt her in a way. The way that she sort of glides in and out is for that overnight flight.
Because a lot of it, what's going on, he's speaking to himself. He's talking. He admits that he's a terrible husband. Her talking about the drinking. It obviously comments on himself. So I could see that for sure.
And interesting that we get so much Freddie in this episode, because as somebody who was a total alcoholic,
shamed off the show.
Exactly. But he's actually got his act together, and he is in a better position than Don is at this point. And he even tells Don, you do not want to be damaged goods. You got to get back out there and get back into the swing of things.
And the fact that Freddie is not damaged goods anymore, or he's on a better playing field than Don is, it says how low Don is sunk now. Freddie's getting the walk in the door and give the pitches now.
Even Pete has that awkward moment of what, didn't they make an announcement? I wouldn't know. Oh, right, yes, sorry, yes. I think if the people last season, and I was admittedly somewhat among them, although I never try to guess where a show is going to go. But if you were a Megan Draper, Sharon Tate conspiracy theorist, they are not done playing with you yet, because that whole house in the canyon with the coyote is it's, they could still go there. When the guy showed up with the TV, I thought, oh God, it's a creepy crawl.
I didn't pick up on that right away, but after I put it on again, just to rewatch before the show, and I was like, oh yeah, I could see a little bit of that. But I don't know if they would actually take it that far.
Probably not. Matthew Weiner says they're not, and but it's interesting. There's a point of demarcation in that period where you know, where it was cool to hang out with the hippies and then it wasn't, you know. So the fact that they're still camping out in Roger's suite at the Pierre or wherever it is that he's living, I think, you know, the Manson murders haven't happened yet, and maybe when they do, there'll be a shift there. God,
there's a lot. I mean, like I think there's just a lot more characters that we need to see that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I mean, but some interesting.
Where's Bert?
Where's Bert? Where is oh God?
We even got to see Harry Hamlin in this episode.
Oh, Harry Crane we haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
you know,
Crane. We got a lot of Ken Cosgrove.
Ken Cosgrove, who, you know. I feel his pain, and I hope we actually get Bob Benson and not just references to his existence this season.
That's right. I forgot about that.
But, you know, again, that he can be so sort of cavalier and dismissive of Joan, who is technically above him in the grid, you know.
What I want to see from the next couple episodes is just where SCMP stands, you know, because it was really telling. I mean, like the very first shot, we're waiting. I mean, as a fan, we're waiting to see Don Draper's name on that nameplate on the door, and then all of a sudden, when Dawn opens the door and it says Lou, and it's like, oh man, so much has changed. But that's what I want to, you know, with episode 2, I want to see them maybe put a couple of the characters that we caught so much up on in this episode, kind of put them on the back burner. And
they've got quite the ensemble to deal with at this point, but I think they'll assuage us all. There's a second black employee at SCNP now.
Yeah, that was noted. Yeah.
Rocking the fro. I was very much enjoying that.
What's really interesting, they were, just before we recorded, they were talking about how this one did not get as big a ratings as anticipated. It was like the lowest since 2008.
I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, maybe it is just simply because I think last season lost a lot of people.
Really?
I've been hearing a lot of complaints about, oh, it's not as good. And I'm like, no, we're getting some really great places here.
This show's a novel.
And I think that maybe if the ratings speak to this, maybe people are just losing interest because there's so much coming up on television now. There's so much occupying their time. I mean, I know a lot of people that were fighting against, what do we watch first, Game of Thrones or Mad Men?
Right.
You know, but maybe this is maybe it's time.
Or it says something about how people watch these shows. You know, I think now, you know, this has become a really popular show to binge watch on Netflix. So there may be people who just don't want to have to wait from week to week, and they're just going to wait for the whole thing to be posted, and then they can just gun right through it. You know, I don't know, but I just
know it's going to be painful. I'm not going to taking that mid-season break. I'm going to be crying.
It has not diminished in quality, though. I will definitely say that.
No.
Oh, we should mention Dan Bird as the marketing guy from the shoe place, from Butler Shoes, right?
Yeah.
It was driving me crazy. I was thinking that he was one of the American Pie guys. Then I was, oh no, it's the guy from Easy A and Cougar Town, and You've Got Hills Have Eyes remake. But I love it. But it's that classic thing of the, you know, business executive who is clearly fresh out of, you know, NYU or wherever, who looks like and looks like he's 12 years old.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, but Joan, I mean, it was just a great reversal, you know. I mean, like he comes up, he's like, oh, where's Ken? You know, he orders the Coke, you know, instead of like in a real drink, you know.
He's with a lady.
Yeah. So, I mean, like all of that stuff's really interesting. I hope to see a little bit more of him and maybe that whole dynamic. But,
I don't know if this show is going to give us like the 6 Feet Under ending of like, here's what happens to them for the rest of their lives. But I really foresee an interesting 70s ahead for Peggy and for Joan, whether or not we ever get to see them on the show, just, you know, because they're pioneers.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So, Mad Men's back. Yay. Join us next week.